Hi, and welcome to the SongTown studios. I am Clay Mills with another episode of the Music Lab, and I want to talk to you today about what I feel is probably one of the biggest questions you can be asking yourself while you're writing a song. Usually we get this creative burst that, we'll come up and we'll get a song started, or maybe we'll even get so much inspiration that the song is almost complete. But at some point, we've got to kind of step back and ask ourselves, who is going to care about this song? Because we obviously care about it. That's why we're writing it. It's moving us. But we have to put ourselves in the listener's place and say, okay, who is going to care about this song? And I ask myself some of these questions. Is the idea I'm writing interesting enough? Or has it been written many times before? If you want people to pay attention, you're going to have to give them something new and different. Will the listener relate to the singer? I love that, because if the listener can't relate to the singer, they're not even going to bother to listen. Will a singer want to sing this song? Is it going to make the singer come across? Is it going to fit his image? Is it going to make a singer look good? If you're singing a song where the singer is this horrible person in the song, well, it's going to be hard to find a singer that wants to cut that song. Is your song emotionally moving, or is it just whiny? A lot of times we get our hearts broke. We want to write a song, but it's got to have enough going on in that song that it comes across as emotionally compelling, rather than just I'm whining about my broken heart. That's very important. Does the melody sound fresh? Is it bringing something new to the table? Or does it sound like a lot of songs that have been written before? And we've always got to have some kind of element that's new and different to grab a listener's attention. The final thing, or let's see, a couple more things. Are we talking to the audience? Are we having a conversation with them? Or are we just talking at them? We've all had these conversations with people where they're just they're just talking on and on and on. They don't give you a second. They don't pause. They don't give you a second to interject your own ideas. They're talking at you. And it's important as a songwriter that we leave enough space in your melody that you can allow people to interject their own emotion, their own feeling, their own thoughts into that song. So for the next few weeks, I'm going to be talking about ways that you can make people care about your song, pull them in. And the first thing I want to talk about is learning to make your verses conversational. Now, there are a lot of approaches to writing songs, but this is a very powerful way to approach verses. And I'll just play a few examples of what I'm talking about. And you'll notice as I play a few of these songs, we'll start with a Beatles song and we'll move right on up to a hit song that's currently out now. And we'll notice how they pull you in and make their melody conversational. Let's see. Let's start with, this is back in the days when they had long intros in songs. 1, Okay, now this was an early psychedelic song, and musically there's these discordant things going on, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the production. So how does John Lennon create a melody that is conversational and is going to pull people in? And he did it brilliantly. He just mainly used 2 notes. And so when you have all this chaos going on, he still focuses in with just using 2 notes, and he keeps it very, very simple. And, the Beatles were known for being brilliant, but I think a lot of times their simplicity is what made them really brilliant. So he used basically this 2-note approach, kind of sitting around 2 notes to create that initial conversation for the verse. There's another song I'll play a few years back. It was Song of the Year in country. A song called Live Like You Were Dying.
I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me when a moment came that stopped me on a dime. I spent most of the next days looking at the x-rays, talking about the options and talking about sweet time.
Okay, this is also really cool because they basically use about 3 notes. They play around with 3 notes, and they change the chords underneath. So it's da 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 da. So for 3 times in a row, they go da 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 da. And so to make it interesting, but yet keep the conversation, you change the chords. Dun 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 dun. Then they repeat it. Spend most of the next days looking at the X-rays, talking about Donna. Talking about sweet time. So at the end of the very end of that phrase, they hit a 4th note. But by and large, it's a 3-note verse, and that's kind of the brilliance of how to pull people in. They're starting a conversation, and just like you're talking to a friend or a lover, you're talking to a stranger, and that's your job with your verse, is to be very conversational. And then I'm gonna play one more song. This is a song that gosh, it's on one of the biggest selling records of all time that was out a few months past. It's called Hello by Adele.
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like me to go over everything. They say that time's supposed to heal ya, but I ain't done much healing.
So there they go, whole verse. Ta-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's very similar to the song we just heard before. They use basically a 3-note da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. It's all kind of built around a 3-note phrase. And not only do they do that for a verse, she does it for another verse following. And what this does, it really sets the tone and keeps you in a tight little conversation place so that when you get to the chorus, it can open up big. And that helps to create emotion, helps to impact the listener. So let's listen to this next verse and just kind of see how they explode into the chorus.
Hello. Can you hear me? I'm in California dreaming about who we used to be when we were younger and free. I've forgotten how it felt before the world fell at our feet. There's such a difference.
Now they build. But it's still kind of staying in that same note range. And here we go.
Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times.
So now they've set this kind of conversation that they're having with you, and then boom, hello from the other side. And this big chorus, soaring notes, and then all of a sudden, that's where you get the chill bumps. That's where the emotion comes in. So choruses are more about introducing the emotion, and this is also true with lyrics. You kind of set that conversational tone in your verse and then hit them with the emotion in that chorus. And now, like I said, every song is not like this, but you'd be surprised that many, many great legendary songs are like this. So this week for your assignment, I want you to focus on, put limitations on your verse melody. Say, I'm only going to use 2 notes in this verse, or I'm only going to use 3 notes in this verse, and stick to that and see how it forces you to be creative with your rhythms, with other things other than just big melodies. Because a lot of times with songs that I critique, one of the biggest problems is that there's too much going on in the verse. So when you get to the chorus, it doesn't feel like a chorus. So this week, when you write, I want you to focus just on a 2 or 3 note verse. And that's your assignment. Hope to see you back next week for another episode of the Music Lab. Take care.